Hi, my name is Matthew Jester. I'm just making a quick video here on demystifying hypnosis, going over the myths and facts. So, I have a certificate of completion here. This just shows that I'm competent in the field of hypnosis. And we'll go ahead and get started here with your introduction. So, hi, my name is Matthew Jester. Please watch my video, Hypnosis, Abuse, and Speech Inhibition. I will leave a link in the description. I will also leave additional links in the description of other relevant videos. I've been abused with hypnosis, and my ability to speak is being inhibited with hypnosis, which is why I have to read everything when I make videos. If you notice me stuttering, speaking slowly, being unable to speak clearly, or any other difficulty speaking, I explain how this is being done to me in my video, Hypnosis, Abuse, and Speech Inhibition. Also, I will be raising my left index finger whenever the hypnosis is inhibiting my ability to speak so that I can point out the hypnosis inhibiting my ability to speak without interrupting myself in videos. So please pay attention to my body language when I raise my finger because you're most likely going to be able to notice the hypnosis. Okay, so myth number 1. You can't be hypnotized involuntarily. No, not only can you be hypnotized involuntarily, you can even be hypnotized without any knowledge or recollection of ever being hypnotized and experience complete amnesia of the event. Myth number 2, hypnosis is not dangerous or hypnosis is completely safe. This depends on the context. The induction of hypnosis and the process of hypnosis is not dangerous, has relatively harmless and mild side effects, and does not directly pose any significant risk to an individual's health. The most common side effects of hypnosis include headache, drowsiness, dizziness, anxiety, and the creation of false memories. Amnesia can develop as a result of hypnosis, but amnesia can usually be prevented or is induced intentionally based on the hypnotist's instructions. For example, the hypnotist saying, "You will remember everything," or "You will not remember anything." In less common circumstances, even if hypnosis is being used ethically, hypnosis can cause abreactions or severe adverse reactions, which are most commonly adverse emotional reactions and or a result of previous psychological trauma. So generally, as long as hypnosis is used ethically, hypnosis is not dangerous and is completely safe, which is how a majority of hypnotists and hypnotherapists describe hypnosis, excluding the context of when hypnosis is used ethically. This results in the general public misunderstanding hypnosis to the extent it is an extremely significant danger to public safety. An example of this is the police informing me that even if I survived manslaughter and developed a lifelong medical condition from loss of organ function due to hypnosis repressing my sense of thirst, witnessed a murder, was threatened for talking about the murder I witnessed, and was hypnotized to inhibit my ability to speak and write about either, that my witness and victim testimony is considered inadmissible in the court of law because I was hypnotized. So in circumstances where hypnosis is used unethically, not only is hypnosis extremely dangerous, but the myth and the belief that hypnosis is not dangerous is actually so dangerous that the general public in our legal system does not acknowledge that hypnosis can even be used to commit crimes, forcing me to become educated and certified in hypnosis so that I could teach and prove to the general public that not only is hypnosis real, hypnosis is extremely dangerous and that hypnosis can be used to commit crimes. And before I could attempt to disclose any evidence of crimes committed using hypnosis. I even had to design petitions to officially integrate hypnosis into our legal system for criminal proceedings because there are no laws permitting and requiring law enforcement to conduct any form of investigation regarding criminal use of hypnosis, intervene any form of criminal use of hypnosis, make any arrests for the criminal use of hypnosis, or issue any citations for criminal use of hypnosis, which is a serious danger to public safety. Since law enforcement was unable to help me, I even had to investigate and gather evidence for my own case that I am a witness and victim in, all by myself, while my ability to speak and write is still being inhibited by hypnosis, which is requiring me to record myself while I write because my ability to write can only be so inhibited before becoming too noticeable in video recordings or in front of witnesses. And writing is the only way I can compensate for my inability to speak, or my ability to speak being inhibited, because it would be too noticeable I was hypnotized if I couldn't read. I also had to learn how to analyze handwriting myself in order to interpret, organize, and disclose any evidence because law enforcement and the FBI wouldn't do it for me. Alright, that was extremely difficult to read. Holy cow. Let's see. So, I just finished that one. I have some examples here. Well, first of all, I have an example of a handwriting analysis. This is actually my handwriting that my own handwriting that I had to analyze. And I've only analyzed my handwriting and one other individual's handwriting before. Although, you can see here, this is where the word murder is. I'm using two different cameras simultaneously, so right here, I mean, you can barely even read it. This is where it starts, and where it ends is where my index fingers are. Right above the C. And let's see if you can see it clearly here. It's difficult to do with the camera angle, but you can somewhat see it. Anyways, the R is in bold, which I'm hoping that you can see. And anyways, there's just going over some of the basics with this, right? So the letter R in the word murder is in bold, distracting attention from the word murder. The letter C in conceal in the beginning is also bold, drawing any attention away from the word murder that isn't already drawn away by the letter R in bold, as I've already mentioned, right? So, I mean, I explained this actually in much more detail as well in another video, basic handwriting analysis that I'm going to be making. Let's see. Further distractions in the drawings as a whole. And, you know, I mean, of course, you can kind of see, like, all this black stuff is all just pictures, right? On the Facebook video, it might be more difficult to be able to make out. I mean, you can see it, though. I mean, various drawings. Looks like even a person sitting at the very top. And, let's see. A stick figure with dreadlocks in the letter H in my name, Matthew. You can see that. And these were actually things that I was hypnotized to draw, right? Sorry I didn't elaborate that already. And, I mean, you can kind of tell that, you know, while I was writing a witness statement regarding a murder that I witnessed, and, of course, it is not exactly the most appropriate or even, you know, logical time for me to draw on the same piece of paper, especially, right? But, of course, and you would think that I would want to draw as much attention to the word murder as possible, which I intended to do, although the hypnosis, you know, altered it, which luckily I didn't try to, you know, draw even more attention to the word murder by drawing the entire thing in bold, because then it would have actually concealed evidence of the hypnosis, influencing and inhibiting, restricting my handwriting. Because, I mean, and this is evidence of hypnosis inhibiting my ability to speak and inhibiting my ability to write, because it is evidence of hypnosis altering my handwriting and distracting me from my inability to write or my inhibited writing ability. So, and the distraction from the writing ability is evidence of hypnosis being used to deter writing or inhibit writing, and evidence of deterring writing and inhibiting writing is evidence of inhibiting my ability to speak with hypnosis as well. And especially based on the context. Okay, so there is also a second stick figure in the letter N in investigate, and I go into detail here. I mean, you can see that one. That one's very easy to see, and I mean, you know, this is actually a very, very creative thing as well. And, you know, I mean, it's not exactly something that that the normal person, like, that I would be able to make up, or the normal person would just be able to make up. There's also a river of waves protruding from an extremely exaggerating ending pen stroke in the letter R. I was hypnotized to imagine a river flowing and the pen strokes in the letter R, which is kind of a complex concept, but I ended up doing that anyways, right? And you can see the river right there. I mean, the waves, it's upside down. It's not, it protrudes up like that. And let's see. Oh yeah, so there were some other further drawings as a distraction, and I mean, ended up drawing an umbrella that ended up turning into a pyramid, and let's see, drawing a couple arrows and a heart, some SD cards that ended up looking like manila folders, and all the drawings were simply used as a distraction to interrupt me from finishing, although they are forms of evidence of witness tampering, and also, I mean, they relate to victim tampering. This is not the only piece of evidence I have, although I only have a couple of them. That are, specifically like this, right? So this one is an interruption directly in my writing, and this one is evident because, let's see, just like the other one, right, it turns into a drawing from writing, which is, just a very unusual type of thing to see, right? Anyway, so the bolding of letters in the word feelings, where the drawing begins in the decreased legibility of the letter G and S, and there is a decreased legibility, to the extent of letter deformity, and the S is completely illegible without close examination, and the G is difficult to distinguish from the number 6. This decreased resistance to drawing as a distraction in case I didn't want to draw, and that was a method that they used to get me to begin drawing, was by sorry about that, hypnotizing me to retrace the pen strokes and letters, making them bold, especially when they became to the point of illegibility, and I didn't have like an eraser or, and then it would turn into a drawing. Like if I was writing in pen, so as an example, and then another example to control my writing and make me more susceptible to being, sorry about that, make me more susceptible to being, hypnosis is inhibiting me right now, making me more susceptible to being, to being distracted, and to initiating the behavior that they wanted me to do with writing with a pen, was by hypnotizing me to imagine writing with a ballpoint pen, and the smoothness of the ballpoint pen was like writing with a feather dipped in ink, kind of like a very a little bit more of a can't even think of the word to describe it. I mean, classy or distinguishable, respectable method of writing, since that's what the founding fathers used, for example, like George Washington, right? Anyways, moving on from that. So, I mean, there's a couple examples of that, and then, let's see, so I have some examples here of how hypnosis can be abused, and then I even elaborate in more detail. Also, I elaborate in detail with how hypnosis could even be used to commit murder and what ended up happening in the situation. So, I'll go ahead and get started here. I have a few examples of hypnosis being used abusively, right? How hypnosis is dangerous, or how hypnosis is not safe. I was hypnotized not to drink water unless I would notice I wasn't drinking enough water, unless someone else would notice I wasn't drinking enough water, or unless they would get caught for it. This was what I specified when I and referred to when I was talking about manslaughter and surviving manslaughter and developing loss of organ function as a result. Let's see, example 2, a person could be hypnotized to commit suicide. Because it happened to my friend, the clarification to this example will be discussed during this video, where I speak about the myth you can't be hypnotized to do something against your will. Example 3. I will be posting a link to a video of an ABC News story of a lawyer being caught and arrested on camera of sexually abusing clients. And then I have to elaborate a little bit more on that. Let's see. So it's right here, actually. In the video of the ABC News story, the lawyer is seen walking the client through what he told her was a breathing exercise when it was a hypnotic induction. He then snaps his fingers. You can hear the snap on the camera in the video. Walks her over to his couch and begins telling her, "Your body is a vessel of pleasure." And then the police walk in and arrest him. And that'll lead us into the next myth that we'll go over. And real quickly, to clarify all, I will also post a link to an article from the Human Givens Institute on the uses and abuses of hypnosis as an additional reference. The Human Givens Institute is an educational institute in the United Kingdom. So, last myth. You can't be hypnotized to do something against your will. This depends on the post-hypnotic suggestion or hypnotic command, and it depends on the person. There are two different concepts in hypnosis known as heteroaction and homoaction. Heteroaction is increasing the chance of eliciting a successful response to a new or different suggestion after already successfully responding to a suggestion. Homoaction is eliciting a more powerful response to the same suggestion after repetition of the suggestion. An example with heteroaction is that if a person responds successfully to a suggestion of feeling a sensation of warmth, for example, they will be more likely to respond successfully to a suggestion of feeling a sensation of cold. Homoaction is increasing the intensity of a response to a suggestion with repetition, such as increasing the sensation of cold more and more with repetition. An example for the general concept is that I was able to reject any suggestions to shoplift or lie, but I was not able to resist the suggestion for my hand to cramp uncontrollably while writing the word murder. There is also the aspect of utilizing operant conditioning, which involves positive reinforcement like reward to promote behavior and negative reinforcement like punishment to deter behavior, which typically tremendously influences behavior but does not entirely abolish free will. So, a simple example that almost everybody will be able to understand with operant conditioning is kind of like, say for example, with a child, giving them a present or giving them candy or some type of reward for to promote a good behavior, giving them candy for doing their homework as an example, whatever the case may be. And then an example, so that's an example: positive reinforcement and reward. Punishment and negative reinforcement obviously would be something like, no TV for a week or grounded type of thing. Very simple concept. In the ABC News story example, that was applied by. Sorry, the hypnosis is really inhibiting my ability to speak right now. That was applied by. Oh, that's it. The lawyer telling the woman, or his client, that her body was a vessel of pleasure. So then, that's how he utilized operant conditioning in that context. And in the news story, the news reporter also specifies that the general rule of hypnosis is that you can't hypnotize someone to do something that they don't want to do, but you can influence what they want to do. And that is actually true to an extent. And the heteroaction and homoaction also kind of clarifies things a little bit, because some suggestions and commands will get a successful response out of some people while others will not, and that can depend on the person and the suggestion or the command. I'll go ahead and clarify. Let's see here. On the other side of this concept, the individual oftentimes has no control or free will over certain post-hypnotic suggestions or commands. For example, if someone like myself was hypnotized to feel pain to deter recording a video, then I would still have the ability and free will to record a video. Regardless, although I would have no control over the sensation of pain I was hypnotized to feel recording the video. So that's another example. And then to clarify what I was talking about earlier with murder with hypnosis, right? So, to clarify, yes, it is possible to commit murder with hypnosis by hypnotizing someone to commit suicide. A skilled hypnotist could easily differentiate the methods that would most likely be successful or unsuccessful, so it is an interest of public safety to educate and inform the public with a basic understanding. A direct suggestion or command to commit suicide is likely to be resisted and unsuccessful. If the victim is not consciously aware of the attempt, it will increase the chance of success, which can easily be accomplished through hypnotic amnesia. And a series of involuntary and subtle suggestions or commands that control or influence thoughts, feelings, restrict creativity, decrease performance, decrease socialization, influence negative behaviors, deter positive behaviors, and other similar suggestions or commands would be used to gradually induce suicidal ideations in a victim. The murder case I'm specifically referencing involved a mentally ill victim who exhibited symptoms of paranoia before his disappearance and death. His name was McKay Cody James. I'll be presenting more evidence and going into further detail with presenting the evidence, creating some more videos to clarify some other things. I also, of course, have to make make a video regarding the petitions. And sorry, the hypnosis is really inhibiting me right now. The finger thing I kind of forgot. I actually really did forget a lot, right? Most of the time I didn't even use it when I really should have been, right? Although it is a nice example to show that, for the most part, I actually have a very great ability to talk very rapidly even like very rapidly and clearly, even if it's for a short period of time. Anyways, I will go ahead and try to remake the video. I'm going to try to do this very quickly. So I want to thank you for your time and thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great night.